Good morning, MLW fans. It is Sunday. It is the day after Battle Riot officially aired on television, not the day after that it, was July 10th. No, this is officially after it aired. And Uncle Bobby B and I got to sit down yesterday and watch it and soak it in and love it. And it was everything we wanted and more. Now, mind you, we did an episode right after it aired. And, or no, sorry, not after it aired, right after it was recorded. We'd already spoiled everything. We knew what had happened, but now we got to see the meat and potatoes of the Battle Riot match, which is always fun. Battle Riot, for any new wrestling fans coming to the fold, Battle Riot is pretty much like a Royal Rumble style match, but with a couple of different twists. You don't have to just eliminate your opponent by throwing them over the top. You could pin them, you could submit them, and weapons are completely 100% legal. And as I mentioned weapons, let me introduce the talking weapon, Uncle Bobby B. What's going on, baby?
Oh, I like that. What's up? Great to be back with the MLW Rewind. We both had a real long day yesterday, but we certainly made time, respectively, to watch Battle Riot. I've been waiting for this since I heard it drop. It did not disappoint. Scrolling through some of the YouTube comments as it was happening, just everybody's going, "This is like a Royal Rumble, but better. This is like a Royal Rumble on steroids." It was really fucking good, and I'm real excited to see the next season of MLW because this just sets up a bunch of cool shit.
Well,
it was fantastic.
We're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of everything from entrant 1 to entrant 40. We'll give our ideas and our thoughts on how they mismatched a couple of things and already built some budding storylines. And it was great to see a couple of early type feels for what a dream match could look like in the MLW roster, and we got a little taste of everything. But the show kicked off with the one and only El Jefe, Cesar Duran. He came out, and I love this. He came out. The promo was great. It was, Cesar at his best. It was very reminiscent of Lucha Underground. If you ever watch Lucha Underground, you know who Cesar is. You know what he did there and how much fun it was. What I loved about this match, what I loved about this promo, though, is that he made it official that apparently he brokered a deal with Court Bauer. He is now officially the MLW matchmaker. And at that point, he got an interruption. Injustice strolled out. Jordan Oliver, Myron Reed looking good, looking strong. And the best part was when Oliver went up to him, he's like, "What's going on, El Jefe? El Jefe?" And I was like, Jordan Oliver, that's hilarious. And then Myron Reed walked over, and Cesar, being very disrespectful, just snatched the mic from Myron Reed's head and said, "Who the fuck are you?" And there was no bleep on the fuck. There was no bleep. You heard it crystal fucking clear. So
it was bleepless.
Absolutely. Injustice came out, and they pretty much said what they wanted. You're the matchmaker. Here's what we want. We want Los Parks. We want a shot at the MLW tag titles. But just at that point, as we had already brokered in our last episode, the internet already broke the news the night of July 10th. LAX is back. New, stylish, but back. You had Conan stroll out with Radioactive Poppy, Danny Limelight, or Rivera, as he likes to be called in MLW, and Slice Boogie. And also Julius Smokes or Smalls? What's the other guy's name?
Smokes,
I think it was. I'm not sure. But anyways, those three guys came out with Conan, and Conan said, no. Like fucking Justice. LAX deserves a shot at the tag titles. So as we had discussed during all the drafts that had happened, we were concerned because the tag team division in MLW is rather thin. And it's not a bad thing. It's just thin. There's really only 3 teams, 4 at max, going at the tag titles frequently. Contra, the Von Erichs, Injustice, Los Parks. Those are pretty much your standard 4 teams that are going back and forth. We needed another layer. We needed to add a couple more teams that have potential to, stonewall and become the mountaintop of this division. And adding the newly formed, returning LAX with fresh faces was a very smart idea. And I love Limelight and Slice Boogie. Now, Slice Boogie has officially signed with MLW, but Danny Limelight has not, or at least we have not seen any news on that officially. If that's changed, or by this point that has changed, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. Well, Rob, what are your thoughts?
He's your boy. Just ask him.
Yeah, that's true. I could reach out to him, but he's not going to tell me. He's not going to tell me because he's not that type of guy. He's not going to let me spoil the news for him. If he wants to announce it, he's going to announce it. So if Danny Limelight does sign, it's absolutely fantastic. Slice Boogie has, and that's great. I love the fact that Slice Boogie's there. Slice Boogie was a pick of mine in our draft. We did our mock draft, and he was one of my picks. And
There was.
For a while there, I was a little bit upset because I was like, you know what, man, Rob's the only one who's got a pick in there right now. Like, this is fucking horseshit. But thankfully, Slice Boogie tied it up, and I'm happy about that. So congratulations to Slice Boogie. LAX Conan looks great for somebody who died. He looks fantastic. He really, really does.
Oh man, his hernia is brutal though. Poor guy.
It is, but you know what? He still looks. What I love about Conan.
Oh, all things considered, he looks pretty damn good.
Fucking right, man. Fucking right. So
like
that
for
was
a dude who's wrestled,
yeah, that was kind of the the standard, and then all of a sudden we get Injustice, LAX, a little stare down, little smack talk, a little boom, 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 and then everybody just clears out of the ring. We go to our announcers. It was great to see Saint Laurent back. Always love seeing Saint Laurent. He looks like somebody that just rolled out of bed, put on his sunglasses, rubbed a little whiskey on his teeth, and went to work. I love Saint Laurent and what he brings to the table. I love the color commentary that he brings. And also, we get to see the interview princess looking very fantastic, as she always does. She's back there with the lottery. I don't know what they call that thing. Lottery spindle, lottery shaker, whatever you want to call it. What is that thing called? What's the terminology for that thing, Rob?
A drum?
Is it a lottery drum? Is it? Is it just
turn the drum? Yeah.
I thought it was like a spinner.
It's called a drum.
So okay, it's a drum. Fine.
It's
a drum.
Spinner?
Spinner, yeah. You spin, you shake
drum,
it.
son.
All right, whatever. Fuck you. So she's there, and she's there with EJ. EJ is going to pick his spot in the Battle Riot. He gets a good number. Just as we're about to find out, I guess, what he had to say, Contra interrupts, as they always do, laying down the law, saying what they're going to do tonight. They're going to handle things and take care of things. And as we get later on in the conversation, that was the one promo that Joseph Samael put out there that did not come to fruition, or as he stated. He usually tries to prophesize pretty good, but this promo, it didn't do that. It did not do that. And then, of course, we get Tom Lawler, Kevin Koo. Kevin Koo picks out his number. He's happy. He's very excited about his number. It's a decent number. He's probably in the mid-20s somewhere at that point. We don't know where he is yet. And then Filthy Tom picks his number, and he is pissed. He is.
Yeah, it was not a good number.
Yeah, he's pissed about his number. He was pissed about it. But, hey, it is what it is. And we also get an announcement of Fusion Alpha. I guess a new show or a new segment that's going to take place, which is pretty fucking cool. I can't wait to see what they do with that, because that just gives more layers and more eyes on the product. I mean, if you think about it, WWE has 3 shows. AEW has 3 going on to 4. There's nothing wrong with companies having a couple more layers to showcase. I'm not sure what Fusion Alpha is going to be or how the exact concept's going to work yet, but it's great. It's exciting for MLW fans that we get a little bit more taste, because we've complained about it on the show repeatedly that 1 hour is just not enough. And
I wouldn't say complain. I like a 1 hour show because it's really easy to sit there, watch an hour show, boom, you're done. But a second show now with the new faces that have come in, it's going to give you more airtime to build segments, to have a couple more matches, to develop some more promos and characters and feuds and all that stuff. So especially with the women's division coming in as well, they need that extra time. So looking forward to seeing what MLW is going to do. They never fail to disappoint, so it should be great.
Absolutely. And should we just get into Battle
Riot?
Sorry,
I said they never fail to disappoint. They never fail to what's the word I'm looking for? It's early, George. I can't think right now.
Spindle.
They never disappoint. I'll just say it that way. MLW never disappoints.
They always deliver on the goods.
Thank you. They never fail to deliver. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. All right, there you go. So here we go. This is a breakdown of entrance 1 through 40. Now, we're not going to terabyte the whole match. If you guys want to watch it, it was a great 90 minutes. So go watch it. It's available for free on the MLW YouTube page.
Go watch it. It's amazing.
If you have Bell on Air TV, you can also watch it on there as well. I'm sure they're running reruns throughout the day. And of course, if you live in the States, you have Vice TV, so it's definitely on there as well. So anyways, long story short, number 1, we already knew Davey Richards. He comes out looking great. The American Wolf looking strong, looking focused, looking ready to do the task at hand. He's got to go through 39 other men, and it's not going to be easy. It is definitely not going to be easy. Number 2, the man who was pissed off earlier in the evening, Tom Lawler. And he comes out in all jeans and then strips down his jean shorts to be in jean-looking tights, which is, again, fucking hilarious just because it's Filthy Tom and it's what he does best.
Exactly.
So, what I loved about these two is that they had that feeling out process. But you know what I loved about this too is that it is a battle. It is a Royal Rumble style match, but every 60 seconds, an entrant comes in. And let me tell you, this ring filled up quick. It was almost like somebody came
real
in
quick,
and then bam, the next person was coming in. And number 3 was TJP. And I love the little sequence that we had here between these 3. There was submissions upon submissions upon submissions. And that's what's great about this style of match. There's actually a ref in the ring the entire time. And if somebody taps out, they're gone. It's not like Royal Rumble when somebody puts somebody in a great submission and there's nobody to say, okay, he's out, he tapped out. It just goes on and on and on. Whereas this one, it was seamless, man. Every 60 seconds, a new face came in. And let me tell you, at one point, that ring filled up very, very quick.
It was extremely full.
It was crazy, but it was good. I liked it. There was a lot to watch and a lot to pay attention, but it wasn't like Royal Rumble matches that we'd have seen at other places done, where somebody comes in and runs a table. They clear out the ring when it gets to like 6 or 7 people, and then they're just kind of sitting there waiting, and they take one-on-one as they go. This didn't give that opportunity to do that because the ring filled up so quickly, and a lot of different styles, fresh faces. And number 4, Rob's pick, Lee Moriarty, makes his MLW debut. He comes in, and it was great. He definitely kicked up the energy when the first 3 entrants were just kind of submissions and feeling each other out and doing a couple of
big energy when Lee came out.
Oh yeah, it shot up to another level. And then right after that, we get Kip Osborne, aka Lance Von Erich, Rip Von Erich, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's not a Von Erich, but he thinks that he is. He's big number 5, and that adds another layer to it for sure. King Mo coming out looking strong, number 6, and then number 7, my favorite, should be everybody's favorite, one of my favorites in MLW anyways, Calvin Tankman. And when he came out, it went from that high flying energy with all these small guys in there to just heavyweight hustle. And he
changed the dynamic.
Yes.
As soon as he came in, the energy in that match, the energy in that ring, I should say, shifted, and Calvin just changed the dynamic. And yeah, that was pretty lit when he came out, and I was pretty excited. And after Calvin Tankman,
Aries.
Giver.
Aries comes out, and then Gringo Loco comes out, and then the aerial artist Zenshi comes out. So check this out. You have a couple great cruiserweights in the start. You have Davey Richards, you have Tom Lawler heavyweights mixing up. You have heavyweight hustle, extreme heavyweight. And then now all of a sudden we get into that luchador style. You add back-to-back Aries, Gringo Loco, and Zenshi, 8, 9, and 10. And that literally takes it to another level. And what I loved about the way this match was designed is when somebody came out, everybody had a chance for that 10-15 seconds to do a killer spot. They had their own spotlight on them to highlight what they can do. Even if it didn't give you enough, it gave you a little taste as a fan to say, okay, I like this guy, I want to see more. Or I like this guy, I want to see more. And that's what I loved about the way this match was designed, because whenever somebody came in, they all had their little spotlighted spots, which made it so much more fun and interesting for fans. What are your thoughts on that?
And well, as soon as Aries, Gringo Locos, then she came in, again, the dynamic of the match shifted. And then you started seeing all these really smooth lucha spots and just great little sequences, fantastic, crisp timing. These are guys that are at the top of their game in their respective art, okay? And watching them all in there, doing their thing, working together was just brilliant. Just incredible spots. I loved that. At that point in the match, I was just like glued to it. I was like, holy shit. And full disclosure, I was at my friend's house in his backyard. They were all watching GCW on the main screen. I had my iPad open watching Battle Riot because I'm like, I'm sorry guys, that's good, but this is better right now. Like I was so invested in this match, I could not tear my eyes away. Even with, somebody getting destroyed with light tubes in the big screen, I'm like, nope, sorry, iPad. Like you guys. I'm like, you guys are missing out right now.
But what a great time to be alive, though, right? Think about it. You had GCW on a big screen, and you yourself had your iPad, your laptop, whatever. Think about 25 years ago. If you were a WWE fan and you wanted to watch a WCW pay-per-view that might be airing on the same Sunday, you couldn't. You'd have to.
Well, I could.
Well, okay, whatever.
I had the illegal box.
So did I. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people in their houses, they only had one TV or one screen. So it would have been, you would have had to catch it on a replay after or catch it on a replay the next day. But the fact is that now
flip channels.
Fuck that. Picture in picture, I couldn't do that. No way.
No, not picture in picture. You would just, if one match you weren't feeling it. That's what I used to do with Raw and Nitro. I'd flip back and forth, whatever was catching my interest at the time.
I used to watch they used to have the Nitro on Sundays for like I don't know, it was like an hour and 20 minutes. They used to cut it down and just make it a little bit more seamless. I used to catch that on Sundays, and I always tune in for the full 2 hours of Raw every Monday.
Oh no, I was the WCW mark. I was all about that shit.
Fair enough. Well,
because I had the illegal cable box.
Yeah.
I got TBS, right? So I was able to watch everything.
Okay.
And all the pay-per-views I got for free because, again, the box. So every WWF, WCW pay-per-view, the first one I remember watching for free was In Your House, the first one. And from then till like 2001, I got every pay-per-view for free.
Absolutely.
Anyways, back to the task at hand.
Back to the task at hand. We had Aramis come in at 11. Alex Kane, Suplex Assassin, making his debut.
Big shout out to Alex Kane.
Yeah, man, it was great. And at one point in the match, I'm not sure exactly where it happened because I didn't like timestamp it. But at one point in the match, we saw, and I actually had him on my other show, Straight Talk Wrestling. That match is going to be dropping, or that conversation is going to be dropping very soon. But at one point, we saw Alex Kane, Calvin Tankman, eye to eye, and that
air down.
Very intriguing. But what I loved about the Suplex Assassin, and correct me if I'm wrong, when he came out, he just didn't German everybody like a Brock Lesnar. He did every different kind of suplex he possibly could pull out of his arsenal. Exploders.
He's the man of 1,001 suplexes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that was great. When you call yourself the Suplex Assassin, I mean, Suplex City, right? When we think suplexes, we think Brock Lesnar, but it's only Germans. It's only Germans. It's not really.
Yeah, well, yes, you're absolutely right. He was doing I think he did like a teardrop. He did
a belly to belly. He did exploders. He pulled out every kind of suplex that there is under the sun that I know of. Anyways, there might be some I don't.
Suplexes. Is that the correct way to say it, or is it like octopuses where you have to be like octopi? Would it be like supli?
I don't know. I say he pulled out a bunch of different suplexes. I don't know.
Okay, suplexes, sure.
Yeah,
supply.
He pulled out every different flavor.
He did multiple supply.
Yeah, there you go. He pulled out every different flavor that he could. And that was great and he was throwing guys around like ragdolls. And at one point,
he's the motherfucking Baskin Robbins of suplexes, man.
At one point, I'll give him credit, man. He got Calvin Tankman up, and I was like, holy shit. I did not be like, Alex Kane is no joke. He's got a lot of strength. He's got a very bright future in MLW. To run through it quickly, we had Myron Reed at 13. The young goat came out. Again, the dynamic changed. He came out a ball of energy. Savio Vega, 14, coming out back from the dead. Apparently, he was buried in the jungle. Kayfabe was broken there for sure.
There was a few times where I managed to get everybody to stop watching GCW and focus on MLW. This was one of those times. I go, holy shit, Savio Vega. And everyone goes, what? And he comes in, clears the fucking ring with the kendo stick. Big pop from us there. That was cool to see. What were your thoughts?
I loved it. I mean, you know what? Savio Vega knows his age, knows his limitations. So coming out with a weapon, and especially in a match where weapons are legal, it made logical sense. And hitting everybody with the kendo stick was very reminiscent of a Sandman in his early days, just clearing the ring with the kendo stick. It was great to see. And Savio looks great for his age. He looks great. He can still go. He is a fixture, an OG in MLW. He's an OG in wrestling, period. But he's an MLW, one of the MLW originals for sure. And he's been there through and through. And obviously, you can tell that him and Court Bauer have a great relationship because whenever he's needed, he comes back. And it's not like he's needed to, drive up the ratings because they have so much great talent on their own. But he comes back, has his spot, gets a little sunlight, gets a little spotlight, and has some fun. And it was great. But you know what's interesting? Number 15 was Jordan Oliver. So now both members of Injustice are in there. But what's interesting is at this point, 15 men in that ring, nobody's been eliminated.
Nobody's gone.
Nobody's been eliminated. So you can imagine now, MLW Rewind fans, this ring is full. Okay, it's full, but it's going to get a lot fuller because we have more entrants coming in. So we have the Beast Man at number 16. I guess new indie guy. I don't know much about him, but it was an interesting concept. He looked good. Took a couple bumps, gave a couple shots, had some fun. And then we had LAX come in. Two guys from LAX coming in right back to back, 17 and 18. So you had Limelight at 17, Slice Boog at 18. But what was gold about this is they came out with a Target shopping cart full of weapons. And I was fucking dying. That is genius, man. Genius.
Yeah.
And those weapons came into
great.
play. Slice Boogie threw somebody right into that plywood. It was gorgeous. It was great to see. And like I said, Slice Boogie and Limelight looking strong. And I also like this moment where Slice Boogie and Savio Vega kind of had a moment because they're both from Puerto Rico. And then Slice Boogie screws over Savio, but then Slice Boogie also laid on top of Savio to get pinned. So there was your first elimination. And that was right after number 19, Matt Cross, came in. So still at this point, 18 guys in the ring and only one elimination. But now the eliminations would come fast and furious. So fast, I couldn't even keep up with them. Number 20.
It was wild.
It was crazy. Number 20, we have Buku Dao. Who cares? Number 21, Marshall Von Erich. Number 22, El Endurance or Ellen. I couldn't remember who that exactly, what the name of that person was.
Didn't have that in my notes either.
Right, but number 23, Kimchi showed up.
The second time I got everybody to turn away from GCW. Holy fuck, that's Kimchi. Everyone, what? Holy shit. That's actually, well, not probably wasn't the same Kimchi, but it was Kimchi. You know what I mean?
It was Kimchi-esque. Whoever was behind the mask doesn't matter.
It was Kamala's handler.
Absolutely, Kimchi, and he looked great. He had a couple funny spots, which was great. Number 24, Outlandish Zicky Dice showing up in MLW.
That was really fucking cool to see Zicky Dice pop up, man.
Yeah, man. He looks healthy. He looks strong. He looks ready. And you know what? That's a guy that in hindsight, in our draft, I never had him on the table.
Yeah, I don't know why we slept on Zicky Dice on that.
Not saying that he's officially assigned to MLW, but great to see him. And there was also a couple spots in the match that he had that was a great run. Right after him, Kevin Koo. So we find out that Kevin Koo's number was 25. Number 26, Casey Navarro. Yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna speak on that. I'm not saying.
Okay, so number 26.
I'm not hating on Casey Navarro. I just am not a fan. I'm not sold. First time I saw Casey Navarro was in a tag match with Danny Limelight in AEW Dark. Limelight impressed. Casey Navarro did not. I guess I need more to see. We also know that a couple days before, Battle Riot aired, it was officially announced that Casey Navarro has signed. Intriguing to see what he can do. Not gonna lie, one match that does intrigue me, obviously, is we have to, because he's the champ. You got to think Myron Reed and Casey Navarro for the middleweight championship at some point down the line. It is intriguing, but I'm not all in on Casey Navarro. I need to see more, but he did have a decent showing. I think he lasted in the match, I want to say, between 15 to 20 minutes. He was in there for a decent amount of time.
He was in there for a little while.
Yeah. And then number 27, Lance Anoyi or Nai. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, so my apologies on that. And then number 28, LA Park. No.
Tom Lawler. Chairman.
Tom Lawler.
That was great. So can I just say, Tom Lawler did a great LA Park. He's coming in with the chair. I'm like, I'm like, hey guys, they knew LA Park wrestled them with it, but I'm like, hey guys, LA Park, all right? Because we all remember watching La Parca. And and then it's Tom Lawler. And they're like, that's not LA Park. I'm like, nope, that is not LA Park. That's Tom Lawler. Sneaky bastard. That was a filthy move.
Tries to pull one, but it was funny because as soon as he got in, he immediately was out. Like, it wasn't long. I think it was about 20 seconds and he was gone.
Yeah.
So it's too bad because he did win Battle Riot 2, or no, I think he won the first Battle Riot. So it was sad to see Tom Lawler not make a deeper run into it, but for obvious reasons, he was not going to win this one anyways. And then this is where things get interesting. Number 29, Simon Gotch. Number 30, Davari. So now at this point,
Contra.
Exactly. Number 31, an ECW OG, the Blue Meanie shows up, looking great. I gotta say, the Blue Meanie looked great. He has aged very, very well. It looked exactly like it did back in the ECW days, man. Back in the ECW.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Blue Meanie was never like the epitome of physical fitness. Okay, Blue Meanie was Blue Meanie, but he came in and he did Blue Meanie stuff, and that was enjoyable to see. I don't care what he physically looks like. Is he the same character he used to be? Yes. That's what was fun about watching it.
He did the same, just a little bit of a bigger guy.
He didn't look bad.
Shirt. He's doing the dance.
He pretty much looked the same. And hey, if I look the same 20 years from now, amazing.
Absolutely. So shout out to Blue Meanie, man. It was great to see him back at ECW.
Well done, my friend.
Absolutely. And then number 32, another Contra member, Ikuro Kwan, returning, which was great to see him back. And he looked great. I know he had an injury, but he looks great. And that adds another layer to Contra. because now we have another person to play. And I personally think him and Davari is a better team than Davari and Gotch. I think him and Davari mesh better. And I hope that Joseph Samael switches it up and maybe gives them a shot, because I think they could actually take the tag titles from LA Park given the opportunity. Speaking of Joseph Samael, number 34. So now at this point, in short concession, minus the Blue Meanie, we have 4 Contra members literally almost back to back in that ring. And then wouldn't you know, number 35 is the man we all got to keep our eyes on.
It's your boy Hammer.
Number 35. So now he's in the ring. And at this point, eliminations are fast and furious. Like I said, you had to keep your head on a swivel in this match, because if you blinked, 3-4 guys were gone. At this point, everybody had been eliminated, from Myron Reed to everybody. Zicky Dice had been eliminated at this point. So the ring was thinning out very quickly. Casey Navarro was hanging on. There were guys, the Von Erichs, Marshall was hanging on. And then, I skipped one. Ross Von Erich actually was number 33. Then Joseph Samael was 34. So at this point, the Von Erichs are still in there. Casey Navarro is still in there. But it's all Contra and now Hammer. So we get Hammer. And then 36, we get a couple Sensi Death Squad members, which, I get it. You got to fill spots. But there had to be somebody else that you could have.
Yeah, no, but it was the idea of Hammer's in there, and Hammer needs to win this match. Like, everyone else wants to win this match. Hammer needs to win this match.
Right.
So right.
It adds layers to that story.
Right. So the fact that he had to overcome all these Contra unit members in order to get the shot at Contra unit member Jacob Fatu, in order to overcome the gatekeeper clause that Contra leader Joseph Samael has, Hammer had no choice but to win this match. So the fact that all those Contra guys were in there means that it was just a bigger hill he had to overcome, and that made it all the more exciting to watch.
That's a really good point at that point. And then we had Kinu the Ninja coming in at number 37. King Muertes, the newly crowned Caribbean champion, coming in at 38. Yeah, I had to say it. Fuck yeah, right. King Muertes coming in.
He doesn't have that rarefied air.
Yeah, well, he had that rarefied air. Now he's got that rarefied gold on his shoulder. Gino Medina, number 39. And then number 40. Who would it be? Who could it be? The black-handed Contra. That's right, Max Kruger, 40. So at this point, minus Kino the Ninja, minus King Muertes, minus Gino Medina, minus the Von Erichs, you literally had almost all of Contra, except a couple more Sensi Death Squad members that they could have thrown in if they wanted to. And you had Hammer. So at this point, like I said, you take away everybody else, and it's Hammer and like 7 guys from Contra at this point. But now the eliminations are coming faster. And what I loved about one point is at this point, I believe Casey Navarro gets eliminated. Gino Medina gets eliminated. So now it's just Contra. And in the middle, you got Hammer, Ross, and Marshall back to back in this triangle in the center of the ring. And at this point, as a wrestling fan, the hairs on the back of your neck are standing out, because you're like, holy fuck.
Of course.
It is going to get real. But before you know it, 2 minutes, Sensi Death Squad members are gone. Davari is gone. Simon Gotch is gone. The Von Erichs are gone. Joseph Samael is gone. Quan is gone. And then boom. Hammerstone, Max Kruger. Now, we've been there before. We all remember the disaster that was the Barclay Brawl. But this was different. This is for a shot at Jacob Fatu's heavyweight championship. And this was no joke. Kruger and Hammerstone went back and forth. They actually had a great sequence. This was the best I've seen Max Kruger look in a ring. It wasn't a squash match.
He looked good, man. Yeah, I will say,
it wasn't a cinematic match. It was no muffled promo so you can hear me.
Not to take anything away from Hammer, but Kruger looked real good. Like, he looked like a legit monster. And the way Hammer was selling everything, full credit to Hammer, because he looked fucking awesome. And I knew it was going to be something special tonight when I saw the way Hammer looked. I said, that here looks very reminiscent of a guy I used to watch growing up as a kid.
A guy that told you to eat your vitamins? A guy that told you to say
my
your
prayers? And yeah, and sure enough, that was the next time I was able to pry the boys away from GCW was, hey guys, Hammer is doing Hogan. You thought he was done. Like, Kruger hit it on him. He fucking slammed him to the ground. You thought it was done. He pins him. Hammer kicks out at 1. Gets right the fuck up. Head shake. Full energy. Comes back. The Hogan comeback. And Hammer ends up vanquishing the evil Mads Kruger and earning his shot at Jacob Fatu's MLW World Heavyweight Championship.
And wouldn't you know, who walked out at that point? None other than Jacob Fatu, and he had to be held back by a few members of Contra. And what's great is that, again, they can let these things slide on YouTube, and it's so fresh, and I love it because you don't get to hear it too often. Lately, you've been hearing sprinkles of it. Like, I actually heard somebody call somebody a bitch in WWE, and I was like, that's awesome, because I haven't heard that in WWE in a long time. But Fatu's like, fuck you, I'm ready. Come fuck it at me. And I'm like, this is great. This is what I wanted to see. But what was one of the funniest part of the night is as Hammer's celebrating and he's giving everybody high fives, some hardcore, hard up fan for Hammer hands him a bottle of baby oil. And he goes in the ring and he pours it all over. And this fan is in the front row and she has got a boner like you would not believe.
She was like she was fanning herself, and
I thought
Hammer
pull out a $5
must
bill
pose.
and like slip it in his pants, man. I really did. I thought she was going to put some dollar bills in his pants.
Whether she was a plant or not, I don't know. I don't care. It was so good. Hammer lubing himself up, doing the Hogan pose, doing that. It was great. What a moment for Alexander Hammerstone. What a moment for MLW. This is, ladies and gentlemen, how you do long-term storytelling. This is a slow burn. This is a build-up. This creates excitement. This creates anticipation. This is how you get people invested in your product. Because now there's no fucking way I'm going to miss what's coming up with Hammer and Fatu and everything that's going to happen in between when they actually have their match. If you are not watching MLW, I don't know why you'd be listening to this, but if you're not watching it, fucking watch it. If you did not see Battle Riot, go watch it. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
Absolutely. Everything you said is spot on. And what's great about, like I said, what's great about Battle Riot is we got to see some potential flavors of what things could look like. And one thing that intrigued me that we didn't get to talk about, there was a spot between King Merites and Max Kruger. Now, that was an interesting spot. They were going at each other. King Merites actually almost had Kruger over, but actually Marshall Von Erich and Ross Von Erich stopped that by hitting Kruger. But he almost had King Merites over. So that's not a bad option. I don't think it's a bad option for after now the Hammerstone storyline is done. Hammerstone's focusing on Fatu. What do you do with the Black Hand? Well, King Merites is an excellent opponent for the Black Hand. And what's great about 100%. That is that now there's gold on the line. It wouldn't be for who's the biggest, baddest guy in the yard. It would be for the Caribbean Championship. So that match definitely intrigues me. And why wouldn't Contra now want to go after that? So if they've already kind of sprinkled the idea, planted the seed, it makes logical sense for Joseph Samael to say, okay, I need you to go after that Caribbean Championship. We got to get going back on the tag titles. We got to worry about protecting Jacob Fatu. And, you know, maybe if we want to, because Quan could also fit in very nicely in that middleweight division, and he could potentially be an option for Myron Reed. So there's literally now Contra unit members planted in almost every division, except obviously for the heavyweight division, because that's already firmly in their control. But there's planted in every division that has potential matchups written all over it. And you know what? One thing that intrigues me the most is that for the tag titles, I don't want to see a one-on-one. I don't want to see one team versus another team. What intrigues me the most, especially in that opening sequence, I would love to see LAX versus Injustice versus Los Parks in a triple threat.
Of course.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Von Erichs in there, and I wouldn't mind seeing Team Filthy in there. There's options now. If you think about it, the tag team division in MLW is very comfortable just by adding one more team. Now we've got about 6 teams in there, and that's great. That is great for MLW, and that just adds more layers for more competition. We know this women's division is coming, so there's endless potential here. And it's, again, if you're not watching MLW, we don't know why you would be listening to this, but if you are here for the first time, welcome. If you're a regular, thank you for the support. But the fact is that MLW is not the best kept secret in wrestling anymore. There are a lot of eyes on the product. There's a lot of great value in the product. There's a lot of great excitement in the product, and it's a great time to be a fan. At the end of the day,
hell yeah.
Listen, I was one of those guys that would bitch about AEW, would bitch about WWE. I would bitch about everybody because I'm a wrestling fan, and that's what we do. But I was recently on another podcast, great podcast called Turnbuckle Tavern, and they kind of checked me. They kind of checked me and said, listen, at the end of the day, Wrestling is wrestling. If these guys don't like it, you don't have to watch. And this is a lesson that, yes, I already know. I know this lesson.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to be retold it. So be like, oh, yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. And they were right. They corrected me. So shout out to Turnbuckle Tavern because they called me on my shit and I appreciated it. And they're great guys. They have knowledge. Even OG, Fig Kid, he's got some knowledge, a little bit, tiny bit. But
so
they really
go continue.
They really gave me they really re-put that idea in my head. And now I'm just watching wrestling for wrestling. If I don't want to watch someone in AEW, or if I only want to watch one match, that's the
you don't have to.
And that's another shout out to Circle of Debate, Ivan. I can just Google or
Ivan.
I can just Google or YouTube that match or that star that I want to do, and I can follow their journey. I don't have to
exactly why
in every hour.
Why would you waste your energy getting upset about stuff that you don't like, that nobody forces you to watch, when you could direct that energy into promoting the things you do like and the people you do watch? So instead of saying like, oh, I really hated what WWE did, blah, 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 you could be like, hey, I really enjoyed what MLW was doing with Battle Riot. And it's a shift in that mentality, going from negative to positive. Sure, we can critique things and be like, oh, I don't like what they're doing, whatever. But at the end of the day, I want to focus my energy into the positive things and promote the people I do like. And that way everybody's in a better spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrestling is wrestling. Love it or hate it. Love what you love. Don't love what you love. Be a hardcore mark for one company. Be loyal to that one company. That's all on you. But at the end of the day,
best kind of wrestling is the kind you like.
Yes, absolutely. There's so many more layers to it. And now there's exciting things happening. Like, I mean, I'm a Switchblade guy. So seeing Jay White and Impact was great.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm also a Switchblade guy.
Absolutely. And seeing what's happening over at WWE, like that Raw Money in the Bank was solid, and the Raw after Money in the Bank was solid. John Cena returning. It's great to see these guys coming back. Apparently rumors, I don't know if it's true or not yet. It's official, maybe it's not official. CM Punk has also signed with AEW. Daniel Bryan's locked in. So I'm not sure on that. I don't know. I'm not creating rumors. I just don't know.
I have a little bit of inside information on that.
Oh, you're talking to the same source as Lewis?
No. My source is separate from Lewis, but hold on. I'm just going to pull up something here and I'll try to quote it. So a friend of mine, just for fun, wanted to see how you go about licensing music and came across the fact that Tony Khan registered Cult of Personality and The Final Countdown for use in professional wrestling on TV, video games, and social media. And that was in February of this year. So it's apparently out there. The information's out there that music has been licensed. And if you know anything about Tony Khan and the way he does with music, like he bought the rights to Tarzan Boy so Jungle Boy could use that song, and he like literally renamed the song for him. So don't be surprised. I don't think CM Punk will be a regular. I think he'll come back for All In because it's Chicago. But I don't even want to talk about AEW right now. I want to talk about MLW, and I also want to say that it was great to see Joseph Samael getting back in the ring. Joseph Samael obviously wrestled as the Almighty Sheik. He was an NWA champion, fantastic wrestler. I'm not sure if he listens to the program, but if you do, Joseph, would love to have you on. We're mutual fans of the same band, Clutch. I'm a huge Clutch fan. I know Joseph is too. So seeing him get back in the ring, the curled up shoes, the spike, it was fantastic. Honestly, that was one of my high points of Battle Riot. Just seeing Joseph Samael come in and actually get in the ring and do some work was great. I really enjoyed that.
One thing we forgot to mention, but what I liked is that when Hammer and Kruger were going at it, Hammer actually got the spike. When Kruger dropped it. So Kruger actually
stabbed him in the foot.
And he stabbed him in the foot. And Kruger sold it like a champ, man. He screamed like a newborn baby. And it was awesome to see. And that's what actually gave Hammer the upper hand to eventually eliminate Kruger and end that storyline. So that's the great thing about the Mad Genius Core Power. Because when things are designed, again, you think one way. You think, okay, I think this is where he's going. And then he throws that curveball. And you're like, why did he do that? And you get a little frustrated as a fan because you're like, that's not what I see.
Expected.
But yeah, exactly. But then he goes back on track. He goes a little bit left, a little bit right, but he gets you to where you know it's going to end. And then when he does, just for argument's sake, he kills two birds, one stone. So we got the Kruger storyline finished. The Hammer storyline trying to get to Fatu is finished. Now we just need to wait. Now it's there. It's official. There's no way that Joseph Samael, well, I'm sure they're going to try to figure something out, but there's no way that Joseph Samael could take away this title shot from Hammer. And that's the great thing about Battle Riot. It's very much similar to Money in the Bank. A title shot anytime, anywhere. If on a Fusion, Hammer feels like, fuck it, this is the time after Jacob Fatu's had a grueling match and he wants to go at it, yep, I'm cashing in my Battle Riot title shot. Let's fucking dance. And that's the great part about this option. It's not, and the fact is, this is only the third Battle Riot, but the potential is endless. And every Battle Riot has been entertaining as fuck. It's been great to watch. And again, the highlight of the match for me, obviously Hammer winning, but another bright spot for me, the shopping cart full of weapons. That's just genius. Hey guys, let's stop at Target, pick up some shit for our show tonight.
We mentioned the nunchucks. I think it was Quang, right?
No, it was the American, the ninja dude.
Oh, okay. So he fucking came in and just laid everyone out with the nunchucks. I was dying. Like, I thought that was hilarious because it was hitting everybody. I don't know. I loved it.
What we forgot to talk about is when Myron Reed was attempting to be eliminated at one point, Jordan Oliver was on the outside, but he hadn't also been eliminated. He catches Myron Reed on his shoulder and then carries him around the ring, which was great.
It was great. Such innovation. I love that kind of stuff.
You know what? Just seeing the fans and how they reacted and seeing the wrestlers and how they reacted. Like when Injustice came out the spot, they got Jordan Oliver was all smiles, and it's great to see. And you know what? I used to shit all over Jordan Oliver. To be like, you know what? He doesn't impress me. And then I remembered, like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're 38, not doing what he's doing, and he's only in his 20s. So the sky is
at one point yesterday.
Members of Injustice.
At one point, legitimately, Jordan Oliver was on two screens because he was wrestling in GCW, and I had him. He was on the screen for Battle Riot. I was like, well, this is fucking wild. Like, talk about. I first saw Jordan Oliver. I saw him a couple years ago at C4 in Ottawa. I saw him wrestle somebody. I don't even recall who it was. But I thought to myself, like, this guy looks young. Like, he really looks young. And then I found out he's like 21 at the time. I was like, holy shit. So at the time I thought, okay, he's not amazing, but he's not bad. Like, he's not like the worst. He's not like terrible wrestler. I thought, but he's young. He's got ways to go. But looking at him now, like, leaps and bounds, that guy. He is already good, and he's going to be great someday. So shout out to Jordan Oliver, man. Like, in fact, I was seeing you on two screens, and you're 22 years old. It's fucking amazing.
Absolutely. And you know what? Again, the sky's the limit, and a great premiere for MLW. Very successful. Tying up loose ends from the season finale, season finale, and also
laying the seeds for the new season, planting those seeds.
So this, I mean, we haven't graded it in a long time, but fuck it. I'm going to say A++.
Oh yeah. This was a A++ for me. This was something this is the kind of show I would go back to watch again. And I don't do that with a ton of wrestling events. I'll watch certain matches over again, but the whole event, I would watch this start to finish over again. It was that good. So if you have not seen it, please go out of your way to watch it. I promise you will not be disappointed.
It's the best. It's the best 87 minutes you'll see on TV.
It's got the MLW Rewind seal of approval.
Mm-hmm. And that's all you need. So shout
out.
It's
worth rewinding.
Shout out to Core Power. Shout out to the roster. Shout out to the new additions. Shout out and you know what the great thing about it was is that everybody just seemed happy to have fans back in the building. And that was the best part. And you know what? I thought this wasn't going to be an A++ for you. I thought it was going to be like an A, only because of the unfortunate thing that happened to Richard Holiday and he lost the title. I really thought your grade was going to be a little lower. I did.
Title or not, Richard is the face of MLW. Let's be honest. So, you know, he'll recover from this. He'll be fine. I'm sure there'll be a lawsuit. I've seen him debuting a new move. I'm not sure what he's going to call it. My vote is motion for dismissal, but you know, it's like a rack into a kind of like cutter slam. So you know, motion for dismissal.
I threw out a name too, but I don't know if you liked it or not. I tried to think of a coffee name to be clever, so I called it Dark Roast.
So the other thing I was thinking was like the rarefied rack, but it seems too obvious. Richard is a man of intellect and wit, and it just seems too obvious.
I like motion for dismissal. I do like that, but I was trying to think. I know you went with the lawyer side. I'm like, when I saw your comment, I'm like, fuck. Okay, he took the lawyer.
You go with the coffee side.
So I'm like, fuck. Okay, coffee side. So I'm sitting there. I was like, I was like the overpriced admission, like something like that, because a lot of great coffee houses are very, very expensive. So I was like, damn, like fuck. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go simple. Everybody's got a good dark roast these days. Fuck it, dark roast. It's like, I'm gonna knock the shit out of you and roast you at the same time. That's what I that was my play on. That was my play. But yeah, he seemed to scroll right past my comment. So whatever. That's okay.
Richard's a busy man, George. He doesn't have time to waste with peons like us.
Well, he liked your comment.
Well, that's because.
Shut up.
My comments
whatever. That's because you pander.
Because I
his ass. I just respect it.
It's not pandering. Just stating the obvious is not pandering.
Okay. All right. Stay in the
obvious. I pander to like your wife.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this one. I think the rewind is finitoed for today. We will be back when MLW schedule is regular. I haven't heard about what's going on next week. I haven't heard a time slot yet. I know it's going to be there next week. I just don't know the time slot. I don't know if it's going to be Saturdays or if they're going to switch up the day in the week. I haven't heard any of that information yet. So we're going to keep bringing the rewind as often as we can. May not be Sundays, might be dropped during the week. Who knows? But we're going to be there every week, bringing you the best rewinds that we can. And as always, thank you so much. I am your host, your boy, George Mackay, and my podcast life partner.
I am Uncle Bobby B, baby.
All right. You guys know the socials, but just in case you don't, Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram, on Facebook. MLW Rewind is exclusive on the Straight Talk Wrestling YouTube page. And on Twitter, I am at _Straight Talk. And Uncle Bobby B has an Instagram. And finally got his ass off his couch and got him a Twitter. So shout those out.
Yeah, apparently I have Twitter. Instagram's the real Uncle Bobby B. So you're gonna let me talk. The real Uncle Bobby B on Instagram, and Twitter is I think it's like Uncle _Bobby _B_.
Yes, that's it. That is it.
I forget. Okay, good. I got to start using Twitter. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We will keep bringing you the best in MLW each and every week, whenever possible. Stay safe, stay happy, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be with you again soon.
All right, guys. As always, peace, love, and wrestling. See you next time on the Rewind. Peace.